Hey, welcome to the week 4 discussion. Week 4, we're at week 4. We're almost halfway. We're not going to get too excited yet, but you're doing great. Trust me, I know you're tired. You have work, you have family, you have friend commitments, and it seems like it's a lot of reading and a lot of work and a lot of papers and a lot of coordination and a lot of discussions online. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Well, you're pros at this point, right? So you are that close to completing your program and getting an MBA. That is a big deal. Newsflash, this is not a gimme. If you haven't figured out, I'm not just giving away grades. You have to earn the grades. I'm happy to discuss at any point, but I am going to continue to have high expectations for you. And frankly, on the writing side, my expectations are going to increase, not decrease, over the course of this class. So please hang in there. We're in this together. Your cohort of students, I'm certainly here for you at any point in time. For those of you who have reached out, I appreciate it. Just a reminder, you can grab me anytime. Email, phone, web chat, you name it. I'll be there for you, and I try to be responsive. Most people have preferred the email nexus. That's fine. I always try to respond within one workday, if not sooner, and keep those questions coming. We want to get you through this, but it's going to take work, and because it takes work, trust me, it will mean even more to you at the end. Okay, let's talk a little bit about week 4. You've got a lot of reading, and you've got another paper due, so I don't want to take any more of your time than I really have to. Let's go back a second, though, and talk about your first group paper, which I'll be reviewing this weekend. So I anticipate all grades to be posted in coming days. I'm really looking forward to starting the review process. And I would ask, even before I've looked at any of the papers, I have a recommendation for you. And that is, I would suggest you do what I would call a quick group work, lessons learned within your group discussions, however that is, and really take a look at how you worked, how you coordinated together, and look at ways you can improve that process because, excuse me, in one more week, we have another group project. And so it's important that you really gel as a team, you understand your roles and responsibilities, and if there were any issues during your first group paper, you get those worked out right now. So I'm not suggesting that you belabor the point. But if you thought there were any issues, including any good points or things that you really achieved well, I would talk about that right now. Obviously, if you want to wait for the grading cycle, I certainly understand that. But I would have some discussions just to bring that through. So we're at week 4. You've seen enough of me, so let me bring up the other screen. Okay, so we talked about the first group submission. I want to talk a little bit about week 4, but before we do that, let me make another mention on discussions. So if you post the most brilliant discussion, so well formatted, well referenced, applying the methodologies that have been used not only in previous courses but in this one, that's just fantastic. It'd be really fantastic if it were posted based on the criteria of the syllabus, which means don't wait until Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, to post that so no one else has the chance to contribute and get a dialogue running. So it's important you get some initial postings out early in the week. You can continue to add to that. You can revise them, but this has to be a discussion. So understand, as week 3 and 4 discussions will be graded together, another 10% of your grade. Just consider that and don't wait until the last moment to start posting on your discussions. I really think that's doing a disservice not only to yourself but also to your fellow students and to me, so that we don't have a chance to get that discussion going and contributing. Okay, enough said on that. Let's talk about week 4, creating value through e-business strategy. So I think this will be a great week, a fun week. Most of us know something about Bezos. We probably have an opinion. Some of it could be certainly biased. I believe mine is certainly biased, probably some pros and some cons. But both Bezos and Amazon, I think, are a very interesting study, both in a person and in a business. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes forward. So I do want to touch on something that I think a lot of us skim over in our weekly activities, and that is, what is the real learning objective? If you stay to this baseline in both your discussions as well as your paper, you can't go wrong. And so it's really two simple bullets. Analyze how business is changing as a result of technological development and the implications of these changes for strategy. That should be a central theme that goes throughout our readings and discussion and paper this week. And secondly is assess how managers lead strategic change and exercise control in the pursuit of organizational objectives. So you're probably going to see me ask Socratically several questions about that. If you were leading such an organization, how would you lead that strategic change? So be thinking that through, keeping an eye on a technology strategy. That's really key to this throughout. Let's move on to the next slide and talk about the paper. Okay, so this week, the requirement is a 6 to 8 page paper. I know some of you received comments back on graphics. The writing requirement states to put all graphics in the appendix, and yes, that is true. I will make the point that I think your paper is generally stronger if you either refer to the graphic, see Appendix A in the paper, and I do not grade down if your graphic is included in the paper. However, don't forget that you still need to include that same amount of text in your paper. So if you have 50% of your paper is in fact graphics, one, I would say that's probably too much. And the second is that 6 to 8 page paper, I'm talking about 6 to 8 pages of writing. And again, you know, I'm not going to get down to a word count, but that's the goal. Please, please, please concentrate on the analysis. That is really detailed. I'll make a couple other points based on the objectives that I'll be looking for. And the second is, although there are several questions that are asked in this paper, do not write it in a question and answer format. So that's incredibly important. Let me bring that up a second just so we can review this. Hopefully you can see this. I can make it bigger and then we'll all be able to see better. So I've highlighted a few things. So goals for this paper. If you really want to knock it out of the park and you want to get a 98, 99, 100, we're looking for worldwide data, not just North American data. And I would really like to focus on that for this period. I'm actually going to sneeze. Hang on. Okay, it's passed. Excuse me. Good thing I didn't have up my video. This is not in a question and answer format, and there should be a lesson learned and conclusion section included at the end of this case study. Relate your answers to the required readings this week. There's also a video, so if you want to include it to the YouTube video on Bezos, that would be fine. Again, I'm emphasizing analysis, analysis, analysis. If you just tell a story, that is not what I'm looking for. I made the point on graphics. It also notes that it should be submitted in PDF format. I think most of you recognize that for me, PDF or Word is fine, and if you do submit in Word, I generally will provide track changes. So I don't have a preference, but if you want to go with both, that's fine as well, and many of you did, and I appreciate that. But if you submit in both, I'm going to submit back to you your Word document with comments and track changes. If you only submit a PDF, that's also fine, and then you'll get a listing of comments. I hope those comments back are helpful to you. Okay. Let me get my paper back. I'm back. Okay, so this week we've got a lot going on. It's 6 to 8 pages. It's not 4 pages. We have a lot of readings. Sorry, my video just went. We have a lot of readings. Please stay on top of it. If you've got questions, don't wait till the last minute. If you have challenges with your paper or your assignments, let me know. This is a great week. It's a fun week. It's one of the highlights, I think, for me of this course because it talks about technology and it talks about someone who I believe is truly entrepreneurial, being Jeff Bezos. And I really look forward to the discussions and forward to your papers. So let's keep it going. Let's have a great week. We are almost at the halfway mark. So hang in there. Have a good week.